quicker than the thinker's memory. So we must be good in writing. So I would just have to say that if you can, that would be a plus. And this is a non-judging environment. In counseling, we used to say to people, we provide an atmosphere where people will be comfortable, not judged and discriminated. So we want to have a kind of a sense of inclusion for everyone to respect both old and young ones. So be free, please. Back to your question. Thank you so much. Now, we've been talking about perception because it's a very, very important issue we are talking about today. And if we don't know what perception is and how it can affect our lives both negatively and positively, we may be stuck in our journey in life. So perception is the ability to see and not just seeing. It is the way in which you see or view people, events, yourself, and things in general. We create or form our realities about things based on our perception. That means before you can arrive at a conclusion, there must be something that you have seen. And with what you have seen, you now came up with your conclusion. Your perception sets the tone for all the things to follow or happen to you, either for good or evil, the best or worst, or the worst. You see, your perception will influence or affect your impression, interpretation, belief system, decision, and conclusion. So it is very crucial that you know how to see things. How do you see things? How do you see yourself? You see, perception, especially when we talk about the dual perception, the right kind of perception and the wrong kind of perception. With the right kind of perception, you will gain progression. But with the wrong kind of perception, it will cause limitation. And that's why many of us today, we keep blaming people, we keep blaming government, we keep blaming our leaders, we keep blaming our workplace. But you and I have to define where our perception is coming from. Is it the right perception? Is it the wrong perception? So it's very crucial to know the kind of perception by which you are operating in or with. Thank you.
That was great. That was marvelous. Our perception will have influence on our conclusion. Like whatever we see depends on how we view it, and how we view it will determine how it will actually manifest in our life. Wow. So the right perception causes progression, while the wrong one causes limitation. You are right, sir. So many people are stagnant. They are where they are last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, because of their perception, because of what they tell themselves, like, I cannot do it. Why will you say you cannot do it when there are words like, I will make it happen, I will do this, I've got this? Thank you so much, sir, for that beautiful response. How we discuss growth and mindset determines, or it has a lot to say about individuals. So, what are some challenges that you face in maintaining a positive mindset. I know a lot of people, their problem is not to have that positive mindset, but maintaining it could be the issue. Like when that thing is not happening, when what you expect are not aligning, how can one manage that scenario in order to stay positive with our perceptions?
Please, can you repeat that question again?
Okay, the question is, what are some challenges you face in maintaining a positive mindset?
Okay.
How can
Now,
we maintain positive mindset?
okay. Now, in order to experience a positive mindset, we have to really know what is mindset. What is mindset? Because anyone could be wondering what is mindset. People might have been hearing about the mindset, but do they really know what the mindset is all about? So let me start with the mindset. The mindset is a big problem today in the world we live in. I was speaking to someone the other day and I said, Nigeria's got no problem. Nigeria's just got one problem. I'm talking about my nation. I lived in for years before coming over here. And the problem that I said Nigeria has got is the problem of mindset. It's not an economic problem. It's not a religious problem. It's not an ethnic problem. It's just a mindset problem. And mindset is like a world on its own, where you exploit and experience all things you may think of. The mindset is a state of the mind. There are certain established set of attitudes concerning culture, values, philosophy, outlook, disposition, which someone or people have grasped and believe strongly on and have drawn conclusion that they want to abide with it or on them. These now become a mindset of operation, way of life, just a lifestyle. Because they have come to settle, they have come to resort that this is the way. And you cannot do anything about it because that's what they've come to hold on to be something they want to build their lives around. And it has become a mindset. So when we're not talking about the challenges of the mindset, is about what are you having in your mind which has not made you to realize your goals in life, your purpose in life. Those things might have to do with the things you have taken so strongly and built upon to become your way of life. And some of these things are wrong. Not all of them are correct. For example, when we were growing up, there were things that we were told or we are taught they were not correct. Some of these things stemmed up from the place of tradition, religion, ideologies, philosophies. Even in the institution, our education today, there are things that are wrong. And what do we have to do? We have to replace them with the truth. These are the things that have hindered and have held us back from progressing and succeeding in life. So these things are the things that need to be filtered. They need to be filtered out of our lives. The moment we filter them, we alter them. Thank you.
Woo! The moment we filter them, we alter them. As in, I'm not the only one that gets that right. Thank you so much for this enlightening breakdown about our mindset and the people's mindset. You know, our mindset, they say, can shape us or can actually make us. So, whatever our mindset is, it should be something that will help us to reach greater heights and not uh, be a living one. We should be nice to ourselves. We should take care of our mind and what we think with it. Thank you so much for that. Sir, we would love to know how can growth mindset empower us as individuals.
Now, before we talk about um, the growth mindset, there is something I want us to know about that. Now, we can't talk about growth when we have not planted. There is something that must be planted in the natural if you're expecting something to grow. There's something that needs to be planted or sown before such things can grow into whatever you want it to grow. So what have you invested before you're expecting growth? Now that takes me to, I'm going to come back to that growth. That takes me to I call it the closed and the open mindset. Before we can experience a growth mindset, we have to know the difference between a closed and open mindset. Now, the growth mindset, the opposite is the fixed mindset. But there are these two things that must be determined first. The open mindset, for example, is a mind that is open. Because you cannot grow when you are not open. A closed mindset is a mind that is closed, shut down. A closed mindset is a mindset that is not willing to consider different ideas or opinions. Having or showing a closed mind, a mind that is not ready to receive. On the end, or the on the other end, an open mindset is a mindset that is willing to be receptive to new ideas and information. The discrepancies between the open mindset and closed mindset. Let me just say about that. Now, for the open mindset, the open mindset is ready to learn, yearning for learning. Those with open mindset are willing to learn and seek others' perspectives. Closed mindset people have no desire to learn or seek others' perspectives. Number two, the open mindset is ready to admit, acknowledge. The open mindset people are ready to admit, acknowledge when they are wrong, and seriously they take to other ideas, looking for ways to take to others' ideas and suggestions. Closed mindset people are not ready to admit, acknowledge when they are wrong. Instead, they believe they are right and often avoid new perspectives. Number three, open mindset people, they reconsider. They are people that reconsider different ideas, opinions, a new way of doing things. Closed mindset people are not ready to reconsider new ideas, opinions. They are not ready to do things differently. They want to continue in what is not working. Number 4, curiosity. Open-minded people are curious. They want to ask questions in order to learn and clarify things they don't know. They want to be teachable, pay attention to details, engage in active listening in order to get correct information and interactions. The closed mindset people are not willing to explore, ask questions, be teachable, not willing to listen, and get the right and correct information and interpretation. Relationships. Number 5, the open mindset people are happy and willing to connect or network with the right people in a meaningful relationship where they can learn and receive help from others. Closed mindset people are not willing to connect and network with people in a meaningful relationship. They prefer to be alone in their world. Number 6, the open mindset people wants to make a difference and change. Open mindset people are willing and happy to make a difference and bring change to the lives of people. Closed mindset people are not willing to reach out to people. They prefer to make a difference in their own lives and place. And they place a great value on their own interests. Number 7, think out of the box or think outside the box. Open mindset people are happy and willing to think outside the box by making out the new out of the old. It's about a new way of thinking, a new way of doing things, a new way of seeing things. Incorporating, introducing new ideas, new discoveries, new strategies, in fact, a new approach of doing things. Whereas the closed mindset people are not willing to think outside the box. They prefer to stay in the old, not willing to try new things. They continue to think in a conventional, traditional, the normal way of thinking. They still want to live in the mindset that they think things cannot be done. They cannot make out anything out of the old things. The old remains in the old, and that's how they want to live their lives. So with these in mind, growth mindset will definitely occur when one chooses to have the open mindset. And growth mindset cannot happen when one chooses to remain with or live in the closed mindset. Thank you.
Ooh, that was great. I've written a lot. I've written a lot. And I know our audience are writing as well because wow, this is so enlightening. Open mindset are always ready to learn. They seek others' perspectives, while closed mindset they avoid others' perspectives because they prefer to stay and respect, put values on their own opinion. Thank you very much for that. And Curiosity makes you want to learn. And when you are learning, it means you have an open mindset. You want to grow. If you don't have open mindset, you don't want to learn, you don't want to hear people's opinion, you just want to stay the way you are, it will make you to stay stagnant. That was great. I really pick a lot from that, and I've written a lot. I now that we know that growth mindset can only happen when you are teachable, you are open to learning, you want to build good relationship with people, you want to explore so many ideas you and strategies and all that. How can we that brings me to this question that I'll be asking you, sir, as the last question for today. Please, if you also have any questions, please you can put it in the comments, or you can just signify that you have a question if you prefer to unmute your mic and tell us. But please make sure you are aware we can hear you clearly, you are aware there is no noise, so that we can enjoy the conversation with you. Please, if you have any question now, start putting them on the comment section, because we will love to hear from you. We want to know from your home perspective, what is your whole reason for being here today, and what are the things that you have seen differently today, or what are the clarifications that you would like our guest speaker to talk about or analyze for you. Please start putting them on the comments, or you signify, let us know if you would like to speak by unmuting your mic when it is time. Sir, my last question is, can you please share some practical application or action on how we can empower ourselves, like with the right perception? Because with everything I've had today, I realize that when you have the right perception, you are unstoppable. You will see things differently, and not only see it differently, it will help you to have a growth mindset. So, what are some practical applications that you can share with us today, sir?
All right. Thank you so much, RMK. I'm going to share just two things. I call it a breakthrough principle for anyone to apply, and you make it a lifestyle. Number one is what you just said right now. How do you see things? How do you think about things? How do you process things? Now, you live in a place where there is negative things are happening, things are not good. Like today, people are complaining in our nations today. Everything looks tough. Things are hardship. Things are not really easy. People struggling and suffering, and all these complaints are coming. Now, in the midst of all these things, you can change your life, your future, and your world by changing from the wrong perception to the right perception. Now, how do you do that? You can do that when you focus on the positive. There is the negative things happening around you. There are hardships, sufferings, strugglings, bad news, bad stories, things that are not really good to hear, things that are traumatic, and all the rest. But you are to learn to focus on the positive and do not focus on the negative. I used to say it here where I am, I even tell my wife, I mean, don't talk much about the problems. Talk about the solution. When we keep talking about the problem and we're not ready to fix it, then the problem remains. So when there is a problem, we acknowledge that there is a problem. Yes, there's a problem. Now, what do we do next? Get around it and solve it. The world is waiting for problem solvers. The world is not waiting for people to complain because you cannot deliver. There's nothing good. There's nothing great. There's nothing so pleasant. There's no testimony when you keep complaining. I'm complaining from now till the end of the world. The only thing we can do is to turn things around. So when you see a situation like that, we focus on the solution. What can we do now to make things happen? Doing things differently. You see, one of the things that I found that today, when we were growing up, we were not taught all these things too. It's also related to our background. When things are getting hard and getting out of hand, we were not taught how to think out of the box. What can I do differently? Maybe in your family, in your marriage, in your workplace, in your nation, what can we do differently in order to have a different results? That's what we should be thinking about. That's what should be our focus. And how are you thinking? Now, when you keep thinking the negative things, you become negative. It is said, it is written that as a man thinketh, so is he. You are a product of your thought. You're a product of your perception. If your perception is wrong, you end up living a wrong way of life. The way you live anyhow, because your perception from the beginning is wrong. The way you see things and view things. If you view the world to be impossible, you cannot achieve anything in this world, you see that it's impossible. This task is an impossible task. It cannot be accomplished. It remains like that. Nothing can change it. Because you have already defined the way you want to go in life as a result of your wrong perception. And you can define the way you want to go in life as a result of your right perception. Now, secondly, is this. The second one is the therapy I came up with like a counselor. In order to change your life, your world, your future, you have to replace what is misplaced and you will fall in place. I want you to go with this today. Replace what is misplaced and you will fall in place. Things will fall in place. When things goes wrong, when your world seems like it's crumbling, when things are going wrong and you don't know what to do about it, your business, your school, your career, your marriage, now what do you do? Like I've said, don't focus on the negative, focus on the positive, on the solution. So what you have to do is replace. Like Romoke is into the nutrition, she's a naturopath. Now, when people are suffering of a particular health condition, what to do next? That thing that is destroying your health, harming your health, you need to now replace it with the right thing. You can't want to be healed and you still taking things that are causing your health to deteriorate. For your health to improve, you need to change from the wrong diet to the right diet, the right kind of diet. And when you begin to do that, you begin to see that you begin to improve. You begin to see the organs in your body regenerating. This is all about lifestyle choices. And that's why we have been told to choose healthy lifestyle choices. So it's possible. I want you to take this home today. It's possible. Anything is possible. Once you are ready to do your own part, replace what is misplaced and things will fall in place. Thank you.
Yes, that is powerful. in order to change anything in your life, in your world, in your future, you will have to replace what is misplaced and things will fall in place. I'm going away with these too. Wow. Yes, I love this. This this is transforming like I expected it to be, and I know you can all agree with me. This is powerful. Let me quickly use this opportunity to recognize the presence of our audience. Really appreciate you for joining us today. Shuli, please, if I didn't pronounce your name correctly, please pardon me. Shuli, we are happy to have you here. Why Igwe, we are happy to have you in our midst. Grandpa, thank you so much for joining us. Grandpa is also a nutritionist and a natural health practitioner. Thank you so much for joining us, Sam. Fun, thank you for joining us today. Rosemary, we are happy to have you here. Stella, thank you for joining. Israel, we are happy to have you. Jacqueline, thank you. Shola, thank you. Hadiola, thank you so much for joining us. Tolu, we are happy to have you here with us. Michael, thank you. These 5, 10, 20. I don't know your name, but you know who you are. Thank you so much for joining. Mato, James, thank you for joining. And PC, wow, you know yourself. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am still expecting your questions. Okay, I have 10 questions here. And then we are going to be attending to 1, 2 questions for today. And then the first question, sir, this person, Rosemary, is asking, what can I do differently? Thinking outside of us, the world is waiting for something. So I don't think that's a question. I think she is just pouring out what she's gaining from the presentation. Thank you so much for that. Now, the first question we'll be looking at for today is from Adiola. Adiola is asking, how do you deal with friends with a closed mindset? Should we let them go or adapt to their mentality and mindset towards situations? Sir, that's the question from Adiola.
Can you repeat that again, please?
How do you deal with friends with a closed mindset? Should
With
we let
children?
them go? How do we deal with friends with closed mindset? She's
Okay.
asking, should we let them go or we should adapt to their mentality and mindset towards situations? So she needs
Thank you.
clarification. Mhm.
Okay. Now, thank you so much for that question. Like I've said earlier, your perception influences your perception influences your interpretation. It influences your impression. It influences your uh, belief system, your decision, your conclusion. Now, you cannot change anybody. You cannot change anybody. Even God, who is our creator, cannot change anybody until the person is willing to be changed. God does not violate our will. So if someone has decided to remain the way he or she is, there's nothing you can do about that. The person can be educated. The person can be, if the person is ready to learn, that's why we're talking about learning. If the person is ready to learn, like I've said about the readiness, the willingness to learn. And if the person is not ready to learn, the person wants to be closed mind, to be shut down, closed minded, shut down, there is nothing you can do about that. until the person discover himself or herself. You see, healing takes place when you first see yourself, then you come to yourself. The self-awareness. If somebody have not seen truth, or what you're saying doesn't make sense to the person, you can talk and keep talking, the person will not agree with you until the person sees it for what it is. Then the person can now be on the same page with you. So in cases like these, the person needs to learn, unlearn, and relearn some things. There are things we need to drop, but this thing is all about someone's will. If you're ready to let go, that's good. And if you're not ready to let go, so it's something that comes from within. Now, because of time, there are a lot of things we need to talk about the mindset. Truly, there are a lot. I'm writing. I'm still writing. I told RMK, I'm writing. I think I told her. There are a lot of things we were not taught. And most of these things started from our background. Like that friend, you may not blame the friend because maybe it started all from her, from that person's background, whereby the person is shut down and the person is not willing to change. So there's a lot of things that might be involved in things like these. Thank you.
Adiola, I hope Mr. John has been able to answer your question. Please let us know in the comment section.
Yes,
Do we
yes,
have any other? Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your response. Do we have any other questions before we wrap up for today? All right. I can't see any other question here right now. I think we can move on with everything we have
Hello.
gained today.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Hello. All right.
Yeah,
Please go ahead.
I can see someone that sent something here. It said some can even be spiritual strongholds to block their minds.
Their mind.
Yeah,
Yes. I
yeah,
don't think that's a question, but she's just trying to pour her heart out. But you can respond to that, sir.
yeah. Even at that, even at that, you still choose to be free or to be bound. There's something God has given every one of us, the maker, the creator, the power of will. If you will to be free, you'll be free. If you will to remain bound, you can be bound. It all depends on your choice. The person that wants to remain where he is because he sees the place to be comfortable. And that's why he chose to remain the place where he or she is. And if the person wants to come out, it's still the same thing. It's your choice. So you can work out of darkness into light. You can walk out of the dark side of life into the bright side of life. All what you have to do is to be ready to exercise the power of choice. What you choose. If you choose freedom, definitely you will be free. And if you say, no, I want to remain like this, then you remain like that. Okay. Hello.
All right, you're back, sir. I think we
Yeah.
just lost it for a minute.
Oh, okay. Network. Okay.
hello.
Yep. I'm here now. I'm here.
There's one more question in the chat box that people appear to be missing. From Matovu James. He said, if I'm a teacher, how do I help students with closed mindset?
Okay. Can I answer now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Sorry for the oversight.
Okay. Now, in regards to the children, because they are underage, they have not gotten to the age of accountability. There are many things the kids doesn't know, and that's why they need to be taught. They need to be educated. There are things that they are lacking at that stage. So for the children, it's still very possible to change the status quo in their life. It's still very possible to redefine their direction in life. And what do? You expose the mind of these children to the positive things. Like I've said, some of these children got all these things, like when we were growing up, from home, from their background, from the things that they have been taught or exposed to. And they started to grow with it. They started growing with those things. So that's why I said replacing. The key is still replacing. There is nothing that cannot be replaced if we want it to be replaced. Look at people that do surgery today. A lot of people try to replace their feet if their feet is amputated. Some people want to try to replace their eyes. They replace some parts of their body. If they were told, oh, there's a way out. You can replace your hand. You can replace your feet. You can replace this and that, teeth, your tooth. Anything can replace. So we can replace, and we can bring our kids to the place of reorientation and giving them the right information. Begin to re-educate their minds, renew their minds with the right information. Exposure, that's another one. Where have they been exposed to? Then bring them out from there and expose them to something new, something healthy, something that will make them to become different. So in so doing, you begin to see change. But if you leave them that way, they continue like that. So it's just like a two-way traffic in life. One is coming, one is going. One is coming, one is going. So, but if we leave them in the way they are going, they keep going. But we can tell them there's another way of doing things. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Like I said to my people, this is gonna be 1 hour that will worth your time spending it with us here. And I am certain you all will agree with me on that. Thank you so much for creating time to be here with us. We appreciate you. And I am certain you're not going back like the way you came, because there are so many things that you are going to be taking away from these calls today. And we'll like to quickly summarize this section so that the people that are joining us late, we know what we have discussed. We've been talking about liberation through the right perception, which our guest speaker emphasizes on the power of our thoughts and beliefs in shaping our reality. We need to be conscious of how we shift our perception from limited and negative thought to empower ourselves and put it in a position of positivity. We can unlock our true potentials, overcome challenges, create a more fulfilling life for ourselves instead of blaming others, blaming government, blaming friends, blaming our parents, blaming people for our own mistakes or our situations. So I want to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to our guest speaker. If you had to take this section with him in Australia, I know how much 1 hour is going to be. Like, ooh, I told him we cannot afford that in Nigeria, but he's doing this for humanity. He is ready to help people from Africa to see things differently, to see growth manifesting from people from this region. And it is going to happen when you and I start seeing things differently, start having open mind, start embracing, learning, good relationships, and strategizing to get the most out of life instead of blaming people for our mistakes or our situations. This is going to be an enlightening one when next we meet, because there are still so many other things that we are going to be discussing about the perception and how it can help us to reach our full potential. So thank you so much for being here. We said 11 and it's going to be 11. Mr. John, do you have something to say to wrap it up, sir?
Alrighty, thank you so much. And before we all go, I want to just let you know that your future, your prosperity, your success in life is not tied to the government or to the nation you are living in. It's tied to your perception and your mindset. Now, I also come to know that we Africans, for too long, we have been conditioned and programmed to live in a certain way. And we need to break out of the box now. And that's what I'm advocating. We have been conditioned to think in a particular way, speak in a particular way, act in a particular way. That must change. We have to break off from that. So that's why we want to take in this journey. It's a journey where we want to recover people back, bring them out to the place of transformation and transition, where you begin to see things happening in your lives. So please, I would want you, like what Romoke said right now, because time here in Australia, we are ahead of you. It's night here right now. I want to make our time. This is a foundation stage. We're going to construction, then we're going to completion. It's still ongoing. So if you want this webinar program to continue, indicate, tell us, let's know, so we can know how to plan. But we want to tell you, you are in for transformation. When you are transformed with the information you are receiving, then you can perform. A lot of people are not really performing and getting to the peak of success, to the place of fulfillment, because they've not been informed rightly. When you are informed rightly, you will be transformed, and then you can perform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And I know people are going to respond where we get their feedback. We know how to move forward. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. We are so excited to have you. We know that when this is happening and the people are not here, it means we are not doing anything. But since we have people to talk to, it means we are changing. Even if it is one life we are able to touch today, we are getting somewhere. Thank you so much, and I pray the rest of your weekend is blessed. Thank you for joining us, and we say bye for now with the right perception.